Being informed brings us a sense of security. It is natural to want to know what is happening in our lives. Job wanted to know what was going on and why he was suffering. Elihu claimed to have an answer for Job's biggest question. Why doesn't God tell me what is happening? Elihu told Job that God was trying to answer him, but he was not listening. Elihu misjudged God on this point. If God were to answer all of our questions, we would not be adequately tested. What if God said, Job, Satan is going to test you and afflict you, but in the end you will be healed and get everything back? Job's greatest test was not the pain, but rather that he didn't know why he was suffering. Our greatest test made that we must trust God's goodness even though we don't understand why our lives are going a certain way. We must learn to trust in God, who is good, and not in the goodness of life. Welcome back to the program, everybody. I'm Reverend said, and today we're going to be reading Job chapter 34, verse 1 through 37. Elihu accuses Job of arrogance. And if you ain't did it already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment on any video on this channel. All right, let's go ahead and begin our reading at Job chapter 34, verse 1 through 37. Elihu said, "Listen to me, you wise men. Pay attention, you who have knowledge." Job said, "The ear tests the words it hears, just as the mouth distinguishes between foods. So let us discern from ourselves what is right. Let us learn together what is good. For Job also said, I am innocent, but God has taken away my rights. I am innocent, but they call me a liar. My suffering is incurable, though I have not sinned. Tell me, has there ever been a man like Job with the thirst for this irrelevant talk? He chooses evil people as companions. He spends his time with wicked men. He has even said, why waste time trying to please God? Listen to me, you who have understanding. Everyone knows that God doesn't sin. The Almighty can do no wrong. He repays people according to their deeds. He treats people as they deserve. Truly, God will do no wrong. The Almighty will not twist justice. Did someone else put the world in his care? Who set the whole world in its place? If God was to take back his spirit and withdraw his breath, all life will cease, and humanity would turn again to dust. Now listen to me if you are wise. Pay attention to what I say. Could God govern if he hated justice? Are you going to condemn the Almighty Judge? For he says to kings, you are wicked, and to nobles, you are unjust. He doesn't care how great a person may be, and he pays no more attention to the rich than to the poor. He made all of them. In a moment, they die. In the middle of the night, they pass away. The mighty are removed without human hand. For God watches how people live. He sees everything they do. No darkness is thick enough to hide the wicked from his eyes. We don't set the times when we will come before God in judgment. He brings the mighty to ruin without asking anyone, and he sets up others in their place. He knows what they do, and in the night he overturns and destroys them. He strikes them down because they are wicked, doing it openly for all to see. For they turned away from following him. They have no respect for any of his ways. They cause the poor to cry out, catching God's attention. He hears the cries of the needy, but if he chooses to remain quiet, who can criticize him? When he hides his face, no one can find him, whether an individual or a nation. He prevents the godless from ruling, so they cannot be snare to people. Why don't people say, God, I have sinned, but I will sin no more? Or I don't know what evil I have done. Tell me. If I have done wrong, I will stop at once. Must God tailor his justice to your commands? But you have rejected him. The choice is yours, not mine. Go ahead, share your wisdom with us. After all, bright people will tell me, and wise people will hear me say, Job speaks out of ignorance. His words lack insight. Job, you deserve the maximal penalty for the wicked way you have taught. For you have added rebellion to your sin. You show no respect, and you speak many angry words against God. God doesn't sin and is never unjust. Throughout the book of Job, Elihu, Bildad, Zophar, and Elihu all have elements of truth in their speeches. Unfortunately, the nuggets of truth are buried under layers of false assumptions and incorrect conclusions. Although we might have a wealth of Bible knowledge and life experience, we must make sure our conclusions are consistent with all of God's words, not just parts of it. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up our reading for this evening. But please join me on the next episode where we'll be reading Job chapter 35, verse 1 through 36 and 21. It's been wonderful having y'all as usual, and stay blessed.